Hello and welcome to the Social Hotelier show. I'm very pleased to have a very special guest today, Sehnaz Cehreli. She is a owner of a hospitality boutique consultancy and brings really a wealth of experience in the sales and marketing. She's based in Turkey but stays in Cyprus. She has worked among many other companies like international hotel companies in her career, for example, Hyatt International, and also with other companies, and was instrumental in the sales and marketing and public relation activities of the Hyatt Regency Istanbul. So I'm very pleased to invite her. But before I bring her into this broadcast, I'd like to ask you to say for the viewers. So first of all, welcome to the show, and I'd like to also thank the replay viewers. Could you just write in the comment where you are viewing from? We'd love to know where you are viewing from, because it will also have a chance we can give you a little bit of a shout out, and
okay.
And also you can give a thumbs up and share it with your friends. So this would be really nice. So let me bring in Sehnaz now into our broadcast.
Yayındayım. Okay.
Hello, Sehnaz,
Hello.
and welcome.
Hello, Sam. Hello, Sam-Erik. How are you?
I'm very, very good indeed, and it's really nice that we have a chance to talk about things that are both very interesting for us, which is sort of the luxury travel and the needs of travelers. So, but before we start, I gave a little bit of introduction about you, but you have extensively done work for luxury travel and also in luxury hotels. Am I correct?
Yes, exactly. Well, being in the hospitality industry, as you know, for quite some time. We're not telling how many years here. People could guess. But of course, always in top 5-star deluxe properties and also related brands. But today also, of course, we'll discuss luxury, not only luxury, but what is new luxury, because the luxury is changing every day.
Yeah, that's true. But those are very, very interesting topics, and you're really touching sort of the nerve of where the travelers are looking for. And you told me about some anecdotes before the broadcast about what has happened to some of the traditional grand hotels, which are now catering to young travelers. But I'll let you explain that when we're moving on. But before I have now, of course, our friend Hakan is in Antalya, and he said hello. So Hakan, thank you very much for joining.
Okay. Hello, Hakan.
He's always. I'm so happy that he's always the first one to join in our broadcast.
Isn't he great? He's
The great friend.
Turkish people are very practical and always on the spot.
I noticed that, and I learned that. That's really good. So let's. Should we start with our topics, and I'll give you the.
Sure.
I'll give you the next scene here, so we can put in the about the young traveler segment. So. The young traveler needs, what are they looking for, and what are the things that you have noticed now in your research are the changes in the way they could be the young or young adults who are traveling. What are the things that are important to them, and what are the things that now destinations and hotels should be aware of?
Yeah. Okay. First of all, I think we should differentiate some of the generations groups. Mostly the ones who were born between 1980 and 2000 are the millennials. I wish we were in that group, but we're not.
we are millennium minded.
Not anymore. And surprisingly, 87% of the people who are traveling are amongst that group. and they're using social media basically to decide for their trips. I want to basically more concentrate on the millennials, of course, but what we should concentrate more on is Generation Z, and they're the largest group of consumers by 2020.
Okay.
It's quite interesting because they are the digital natives ready basically to conquer the world.
Yes.
They're far ahead of any of the groups right now.
Yeah, what I noticed is that I was looking at some research on mobile phone usage, and this is the generation that has been born with this, basically the smartphone in their hand, and they are very, very fluent and very fast, and they're
very fast.
They want to have things at their whenever they need it, when at the time they want it and where they want it. So they are very, very practical compared to other generations which have been used to very sort of the analog era of booking things and so on.
Exactly, and it's interesting because first we should look, ask to ourselves in the industry as the professionals, what do they really want?
Yeah,
that's the question to be answered, and what kind of experiences they would like to have, because it's all about experience now.
Yeah,
they're not like, let me finish university, start working, make some money, and let me buy my first car. Or it's not about that anymore. It's not about that. It's not about possessing. It's about experiencing. And the whole industry, and eventually probably that will affect all the other sectors too, everything will be about experiencing and the moment. Nothing is going further to the future. No future investments, not too much. It's just living the moment, working a little bit, earning some money, and then experiencing unique moments. And this is what the new generation would do, and they would succeed. And I don't see anything wrong with it. I wish we would have had that courage and that point of view at our times too, because for us it was different.
Yes, I know that there are some people I know, and very close also, in fact, who are getting a job just to save up some money so they can live their dream, whether it's surfing in Mexico or whether they're going to for 6 months to Sri Lanka or Bali or Australia for surfing, and then they come back and then they get another job.
Exactly, and then they get another job. Why not?
Yeah.
Why not? And they're not even staying they don't even want to stay in the same sector.
Yeah.
Same company, not the company, not even the sector.
Yes.
And not even the country.
Yeah.
Now today the world is theirs. They're world children.
Yeah.
Which I think has to be the case. They will have one language probably eventually. Religion will lose, the importance because other things, are becoming more important. So many other factors will be, of course, and that will always affect tourism in from all the means.
Yeah.
And the ones, of course, that's also important. Before Generation Z, the ones born after 1995, that's 33% of the population, of the world, which is 7.7 billion. I mean, imagine the market.
Yeah.
And they have, of course, significant influence on not only on traveling, but also on the families that they're growing up with, on all the decisions, on households, traveling decisions, all the decisions, basically. So we are now we have to basically concentrate on these two generations.
Okay.
Youth travel is the fastest growing sector right now in our industry. What the hotels should do, what the sector should do, it's not only hotels, of course, the total hospitality, transportation means, restaurants, because they're all about, how should I say, they need targeted and personal approach in marketing because they're very, very much that they know what they want. They know what they're going for. They know exactly what they will do within the next year. They're not daydreaming. They're aware of the facts. They're budget conscious, but they cannot spend the budget conscious. But the Generation Z we were talking about before will spend more for experimental travel,
Yeah.
Immersive and experimental travel, and they want to live the life of the locals. They don't want to live their own life when they're going to a new place. They don't want to eat the same burger that they eat at home. They want to try new things, and meanwhile they also want. It's not like camping and simple. They want good standards as well.
What would be some ways that now the hotels want to attract that young travelers? How will they know what the travelers are looking for? Is there a way how to reach them? What are some suggestions that you think they should consider?
Yes, of course. Now, through social media, most of the decisions and influence comes, number one, from Instagram, number two, from Facebook. But Instagram is the highest influencing rate of the decisions of these generations. How should I say? The hotels are trying to do new things according to their likes and dislikes, because you could easily trace now the likes and dislikes, from the social media, from what we're using, our mobile phones, everything, all our information is followed, is searched. It's all a data basically. Hotels are trying to find new methods. I recently stayed at a good hotel in a resort. It used to be an institution hotel at the time, and now another group is managing it. It's a nice, beautiful, designed hip hotel with excellent entertainment facilities and skiing, whatever. Interesting, we had very nice rooms, but when I was doing the hotel tour, it was, to my amazement, I've seen, they showed me rooms with bunk beds and like 4 bunk beds. And when I asked, it's like almost like an hostel. A young person who cannot afford to stay in the the higher rate rooms, more expensive rooms, and if you're traveling alone, you don't have a family or friends to travel with, you can easily rent a bunk bed in a room, and you just have to share of course toilet facilities in the same room, but the rooms are exactly designed the same way as the other rooms with the amenities and everything. It's just the concept of a hostel in a luxury hotel.
That's quite interesting.
They would exactly. I mean, they're going to experience that hotel. They would use all the facilities of the hotel. They could use all the facilities of the hotel, but they will stay in a room with a bunk bed and just to sleep there. And that's the idea, basically. You don't have to pay lots of money to a major hotel rooms anymore, because you're not buying the hotel room, you're buying the experience. If somebody is ready, to pay most of the travel expense to a hotel room, that's fine. But if you cannot afford it, that's a very, very good system, especially because, these people, they really have seen something, have seen the need for this, and they've applied it. And I quite liked it, actually.
And the pricing on these kind of hotels that have changed the concept, or how do they price themselves?
No, the pricing they have different levels of pricing. It's very, very interesting. I mean, imagine almost like a plane. They have different rates, different categories, and and they call them different floors probably, and different rooms. But these hostel kind of rooms, if you're by yourself, traveling by yourself, and you cannot afford a higher rate room, you can just rent or buy your bunk bed in a shared room, like the hostels before, And I think this will come back again in our industry, because of these two generations traveling needs.
Yeah.
They are traveling. I mean, they're using and when they travel, they want to go to good restaurants. Before they travel, they are planning what they're going to eat, where they're going to eat, and they just don't want to go again to one chain burger or this chicken or whatever. They don't want to do that. Instead, they spend their money on going to a good restaurant and experiencing a good restaurant, and experiencing the local food, then writing about it, taking Instagram shots of the food, of the restaurants. These are all experience moments, so they're spending money on that, basically. But they don't have to spend the money on a very expensive hotel room. But when they can stay and experience that hotel and pay less money in the hotel room or the bed which they're going to sleep in, perfect idea.
Yes, that's very good. They are now, particularly in ski resorts, I find that they're making them like a year-round destinations, and you'll see projects which have several hotels. One of them might be in the luxury segment, but they are more for sort of who come for the more of the après-ski experience. But then you have then you have the hotels that are particularly maybe have a communal dining, and they have smaller rooms, and even go to the extent of the bunk beds. So that's very interesting, and you are so right. I mean, this is how the travel needs are changing.
Definitely. Yeah. And what else could we say? They're also very interesting. They're they're willing. They're flash packing. That's a new system. It's flash packing. They're affluent backpackers. Where the backpack contains really all the miracle digital devices, and these are of very high. I mean, the backpacks are of very high substance, and also what they carry is of also very high substance. So they seem to be traveling at no cost, but actually at high cost, because they're ready to spend on these devices.
Oh, very interesting.
And the gadgets and the dress, whatever, that's what I've been noticing, especially when you go skiing, is not a cheap holiday, overall. So when you look at them, this is like you have all the high fashion clothing, gadgets, skis, overall everything, the glasses.
Very important, all this, yes.
Yes.
Very, very good. Okay, these are very, very interesting insight and very valuable insight you are sharing about the young travel needs and so on. And in general, shall we move over general to the luxury travel trends and
Sure,
touch
sure.
touch on that? So
Um,
what do you see
what
now going on
will
in that
be?
in the luxury travel?
I Before we go into that,
Yeah.
just to add, some of the points.
Hmm.
These okay. We talked about Instagram and the Facebook part,
Okay.
and also the influencers. It's the same thing, but influencers usually these are the like mostly YouTubers, which they're affected, in their decision making for youth market. But of course, I see a big opportunity in investing for youth travel.
Okay. Very good. Very, very good.
So, if you like, we can pass to the luxury market.
Yeah. I think you have covered very well the needs of the young travelers and also the areas where they hang out on social media and their spending power, which they're spending on the flash packing, but they like
Yes,
to stay in more. They're prepared to stay in sort of bunk bed environment, but they will eat very well in the villages or the ski resorts or the resorts or the cities
exactly.
they're staying in. So
Yeah,
they're spending money, but the emphasis is on different things than what sort maybe of the more traditional traveler from the older
yeah.
generation. Did I catch the point?
Perfect. Perfect. You listened very well. It's it's you're absolutely right. They are spending, but they're spending on necessary things and experience related things.
Okay.
Not They're not like going and buying stupid stuff from around. It's they're buying really the necessary things, and they spend the money on their experiences, like dining, going up to a mountain or going on canoeing, on sports, on wellness, on health, environmental related, and they're very very environmental conscious too, which is excellent, because I think our generation wasn't. That's why today we're facing all these problems.
You're now hitting a very
You know,
important point about the
uh,
sustainability and environmental awareness. So those are
environmental
very,
awareness.
uh,
Yes.
yeah, very, very good.
We unfortunately, believe it or not, I've never expected all these climate changes to happen so soon. We were told, we were reading, we were hearing, but I have not believed in any of these things. I mean, we just heard, but we didn't take it too serious.
Yeah, yeah,
But it's happening too soon. It happened too soon.
yeah, that's true.
So we're not leaving a good world well taken care. We haven't taken care of our world very well, and we're not leaving a good place to our kids. So at least with their help, probably we could try to make some changes.
Yeah, very well said. Uh, Anything else you'd like to add before we move over to the luxury
On
travel?
US travel, I think it's okay, because we need some more time with the luxury market,
Okay,
which is
so
great importance too.
sure. So the luxury travel trends. Uh, just maybe we can start to share how they like to travel and what
Yeah.
are the priorities these days and what is happening in the luxury travel segment.
Yes. It's a big segment now. Luxury has become quite important in the recent, I would say, 3 to 5 years. Um, the importance is much higher than 5 years ago. So, of course, people are earning more money, and in in shorter periods of time through different new sectors. Of course, the rise of China, which is now on hold, let's say, but it's important, and they started traveling big time. And of course, that started, I think, with Russia first. That Middle East was to a certain extent using, of course, luxury always, but it started with the Russian era, I would say, the main luxury, and that has affected the fashion sector, hospitality sector, flights, traveling, restaurants, all that. It's all about to see and to be seen.
Yes.
So, and that is like for some people, that's the most important thing. So when we're defining luxury, I think we should maybe have two luxury terms, because for some people, luxury is about a unique experience. And for some people, luxury is about how much money or how much you could buy with lots of money. That's very, very important. Luxury starts with creating a sense of place. And that's not only achieved through design and decoration, but through the personality and character of the people who are giving service to you, who are providing the service. So when we say luxury, in a hotel, in a restaurant, in a destination, even if you put the best design and this hotel with the, branded Versace's, Bulgari's, you name it, whatsoever. If you do not provide the luxury service mentality behind it, it's not luxury. Mm-hmm. So that's like one very, very important point. And the current high-end travelers now, they're first of all very, very curious about the world and about trying and seeing and changing. And they want to discover the best what the destination could offer. It became like almost like a challenge to them, especially people with very, very high income. But the human concept has always been and will always be very, very important in the hospitality sector. And hospitality sector would always they will always have to work with human factor. We cannot have robots serving to us. But then today we come to another problem working with the human factor in the hospitality sector, and that is like the personnel.
Yes.
Because if you cannot provide good service, then it's not luxury anymore. But unfortunately, the challenge is how to keep your personnel, because young people again are not very much into the hospitality sector. They would like to attract, like maybe they would want to work for 6 months and then they would like to leave.
Yeah.
And you cannot you retain them basically. We need to basically in our sector find more desirable and exciting ways, really exciting, to promote our sector so that it becomes interesting to work in the sector. Because I personally think, especially for young people, it's the best sector to be able to work and really experience everything that you wouldn't be able to even if you work for 10 years and later, try to spend. you could do that only if you could work in the hospitality sector. You could travel, you could meet so many new people from all around the world. Every day is a unique day for you. I personally think hospitality sector has been really not promoted well for the young people. So I think it's about time that we attract good people to the hospitality industry, because hospitality industry is an industry like the fashion sector. I see, Sam-Erik, because you need to be young, you need to be able to move, especially for a lady. I mean, it's not gender discrimination, but of course you could do that only until a certain age, because when you're married, when you have kids, it's you cannot do as much as you could do when you were single and independent.
Absolutely.
So it's like a soccer player.
Yeah.
It's like a model, especially in the hotel industry.
Yes.
You have to work. You know it very well too. It's a difficult sector, but it's a very, very unique experience.
One of the things is that I was talking to someone who is a graduate from a hotel school, and we discussed particularly this about hotels and hotel companies, how they are recruiting their motivating the future leaders. The large hotel companies tend to do a good job, but one thing we both agreed on, and you touched it already here earlier, that the hotels, particularly independent hotels, they have to make it sound like a more fun, and they should use Instagram and other social media platforms where the young people are hanging out, and actually in a very fun way talk about this industry and about the passion and the opportunity for their career, and in that way also entice them and be more proactive. She mentioned to me, for instance, that there is a hotel that is posting all the job opportunities and the job descriptions and whatnot and the career opportunities in these social media platforms, and they are immediately getting a positive reaction. And I think this is shows that the hotel who is doing the right thing, they know where to go. It's same as you're trying to attract the customer. You have to go where they are hanging out on these days on social media.
Exactly. So if we come to the real luxury, luxury is experiences that are rare, and luxury and sustainability basically has to be always combined.
Yeah.
If it's not sustainable, it's not luxurious. I mean, basic that. And to be able to understand the true, let's say the true luxury, it's combining traditional opposites of sustainability and wellness and hospitality all together with luxury.
Okay.
That's intelligent luxury. Because these things complement each other. Because when you look at, in the hospitality industry, all these are combined. They're complementing each other. The modern luxury consumer, they're usually coming from big cities, because they're high income earners. London, Paris, Tokyo, whatever. And these are all quite crowded cities, pollution, you name it. So when they're traveling, they don't want to see another big building anymore, where they feel under control, or they don't want to wear their same clothing. They don't want to. It's like an urban and suburban lifestyle. They want to, in other words, they want to experience things, moments that they can take into their hearts and go back home. So then are we talking about luxury, meaning, all the expensive design and expensive plates and little expensive foods? Or luxury could be just a simple plain piece of cheese and bread at a very, maybe simplest place where you enjoy the moment.
That's very true. I have a good example on this. The Arctic Lapland has become a very popular destination for travelers in the winter, and there are people who like to go there to find themselves, and they like the solitude, and for them one of the experience that they find that they don't find anywhere else when they're coming from a big city is silence. And the silence is quite an amazing thing when you think about it. It's a luxury to have silence and to be by yourself. And we found that this is one of the things that we take for granted here in Finland or in the Nordics. But the fact is that these are the things that people are now seeking. On the other side, on the luxury up there in Arctic Lapland, they have this test driving tracks for McLaren cars, for Audi, for Porsche, and so on. And so the luxury traveler who is looking for sort of a adrenaline fueled experiences to drive on ice tracks, they'd go for that purpose. So there is two different ways of experiencing luxury up there also.
Absolutely. That's luxury.
Yeah. And
and
there are now coming up some hotel chains also, some new chains that are focusing on this. That is a new chain that I just kind of familiarized myself with. They remind me of almost like a hippie village, but this is what it is. It's basically
maybe it has to stay sometimes as a hippie village to be able to sustain the luxury level.
Yeah. And what I mean with hippie village is not in a derogatory matter, but it's just that it has, for instance, wellness. A lot of it about the wellness, and they are having workshops about sound eating, about organic food, and about all things that to cleansing, but cleansing your body, about yoga, etc., meditation, and detox, and so on. So these are the modern lifestyle things that people don't do necessarily in their urban environment, but they like to seek in more of even modest hotel settings in a beautiful landscaped area.
Yeah, I like that modest one phrase, because I'm a believer of modest luxury, especially for the future.
Yes.
That's very good. Views. It's expensive should not be indicative of luxury.
That's right.
Rarity should be indicative of luxury.
There you go. Very well put. Good.
I hope it, because I believe in the young generation. They know what they want very well. They know what their needs are. They know how important life is already at a young age. And they know that we only live once. They're aware of it. The awareness is there, which is very important. So in this life, basically, as much as the life is valuable when you have as many experiences as you could, and good experiences, hopefully. I really wish that I would have had their mindset when I was 20, but still, at least we see and we can help our kids and the young generation to follow their dreams. We have a son, he's 14 years old, and we're supporting him totally, so that he could do whatever makes him happy in life. We cannot, as parents anymore, oppose, basically tell them our ideas and, we want you to be like this, like that, go there. No, that doesn't exist anymore.
No.
They know what they would like to study. They know where they would like to go. They know they have their own dreams, which is excellent, basically. And of course, hospitality sector will always be here, no matter where the world goes, because it's one of the most important sectors. Everybody works to eat and to go around, to stay. We're spending most of our money that we have earned or we're earning on eating.
That's right. That's right.
or living, basically.
Yeah.
Living, trying to stay alive. Some are doing it for pleasure. Some are doing it out, everything is based but basically on that one. So it's very simple. If our needs are, some people are happy, and when they spend too much on a simple journey or on a simple experience, that's what makes them happy. Full respect, because we know in some so-called luxury resorts, I mean, I don't know if you call that luxury. Some places normally, let's say you buy a drink for €1 or dollar, whatever, and for the same drink you pay in one street €1 and the other street of the same place at €10. So what's the difference? The one who is ready to pay the €10, it's okay. That's their luxury. And the one who is paying the €1 and probably gaining more pleasure out of it, that's their luxury.
That's right. Okay. Well, on that note, shall we talk about anything else you'd like to add before we move over to our third part?
No, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Very good. If we talk about the destination, and
Yes.
some destinations like to call themselves luxury destinations, but you have thoughts on what makes the destination as we call it, a luxury destination or luxury?
Yes. That's on our bucket list. That's something we're going to tackle soon for some destinations internationally. We're working on some projects basically, and it's interesting because this at one point, do you remember? I don't know, Sam-Erik, but the boutique hotel and hip hotels concepts arise. Remember?
Yeah, sure.
And everybody was calling their hotel without knowing what a boutique hotel was. A boutique hotel. And then everybody was calling their hotel a hip hotel.
That's right.
But what was the hip hotel? Remember the concept? Now it's all about luxury. And but what is the luxury? Basically, I mean, we all hear about the so-called 7-star hotels. I don't even know what, basically, as hoteliers, we don't know what a 7-star means, because 7-star doesn't even exist.
That's right.
If you want, we too can make a 10-star hotel. Who would stop us? Nobody. So, but people are believing in that. They're saying, "Oh, this is 7-star." There is no 7-star internationally.
No, not at all.
There's a deluxe hotel. There's 5 stars, 4 stars, deluxe hotels. But luxury, what makes a destination luxury is, again, I think, not what you have there. It's total amenities and infrastructure, amenities, good level service and accommodation. Basically, all the needs that a normal traveler with higher income levels would want to. A luxury destination should have good flight or accessibility. Accessibility levels should be good. Hotels, accommodation, restaurants, shopping facilities, hospitals. If we're talking about like a big destination. But then on the other hand, when we look at real so-called, around the world, luxury, a place like Soneva, let's say in Maldive Islands, you're talking about little bungalows in the water with the highest standard of service, simple, nice rooms, but a rare experience again. And everything is organic. They haven't used any, I've been reading about it, they haven't used any teak even as wood. They're using bamboos and everything. They're not using any, plastic, of course, no, they should not, but some of them are still using it. So it's all about wellness. It's all about environmental consciousness, sustainability. This is luxury. This is the real luxury. So what can make a destination luxury destination? It's, of course, again, through the impact of social media. But what I see today is a very simple and very low service level destination, even if it's a small one, could become luxury with just some influencers. It's not like jewelry, burning money, yachts and jets and this. If that's luxury, what is the other luxury destination has to be defined, that little island or one wellness area or, the Arctic experience, Lapland. These are experience and luxury. So luxury we should define. And if a destination would want to become luxury destination, then there are many factors other than big investments that they have to take care of, especially in the means of, again, environmental consciousness and sustainability.
That's right, yeah.
And, of course, first is service level.
Well, that's really the for the things in addition to what you mentioned is that the staff are highly in tune of what the guests actually need during their stay, and they know how to keep the right distance between themselves and the guest, but also they are anticipative and they are anticipating and memorizing really what the guest has, maybe what was their favorite drink, do they want one particular juice, and the small things that suddenly would you like to have your usual juice? I mean, that actually always, or and they're using the name of the person in a very nice way and a very natural way, and I think that is requires a well-trained. It's like a well-trained machinery in the sense without saying word machinery, but well-trained staff who are sensitive to, regardless if it's a statesman or it's a very busy executive who's coming for 2 days, they know how to deal with all kinds of personalities, and that takes exceptional personalities also who are serving the guest.
Exactly, you're right, absolutely right, because luxury is all about service and personalized service.
Yes,
I mean, you could have the best and nicest designed hotel room. You get used to it after a day.
Sure.
The impact of the entrance after the second day, it loses its impact. But if the service to you is personalized and it is of highest standards, you would never forget and you would always want to come back because you feel privileged. You feel different. You feel good about yourself. So that's the most important thing. And again, we'll come back, and it's the rarity of the service.
Yes, that's right. I mean, the thing is that when you stayed in the hotel, rarely do you remember. If you think back, what was something that that reminded you of that hotel? Usually, it's a service moment that touched you.
It's a service moment,
Yeah.
and the service moment of not a manager, because the guests do not even see the managers. The service moment of any employee, front of the house or back of the house, any of these employees, and these are the people who should be trained constantly and to make a better hotel, like Forbes, basically when they're doing all the training and rating of the hotels, the trainings they're giving are amazing, and they're usually concentrating on the normal level personnel.
That's right. I mean, these are the most important key people who will be looking after on a regular basis. And as you said, we rarely see managers in the hotels in the public areas, which it's absolutely a no-no where I'm coming from. When I was working in Asia, we are expected to be when the guests are in the public areas. We're expected to also be there to be there and also to recognize them, and because it's not that they will remember that, but they will notice that the management is not present. They will notice, but they will still key. And also, it's good for the staff that they're feeling they are getting the support from management during that time when they are themselves busy. So it's a very important part, which are missing out. And I'm afraid I have to talk about my hometown Helsinki. I rarely see a general manager in the hotel during the busiest time of the day.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah,
I mean, me too. Yeah, when I'm traveling most of the time, I don't see people like managers anymore. I mean, when we were managers, we had to be up and running all day long, back of the house, front of the house, everything, like, non-stop.
That's right.
Non-stop, to be able to control, to be able to, keep your hands on, and to train your staff, basically.
Sure. Very good. Whoa, we have now covered so much young travel needs, and how about the luxury travel trends, and then what makes a destination. This has been almost a full hour of talking luxury with you, and the time flies when we are here having that discussion.
We can talk more. Luxury, we can talk more because people like luxury, and it's again yet because of the social media impact.
Yes.
Even if they don't have a luxurious life, everybody wants to be seen as if they're having as if they're having a luxurious life, whatever that means.
Yeah.
For them it's important right now, and that's how it goes. By like brands are becoming so important to some of the unfortunately young generation. They're paying for the brand's advertising and marketing expenses. They're not aware of that yet. When they're aware, I've seen there was a photo of Bill Gates, and he dresses from Gap or Banana Republic, quite, a simple shirt, a simple normal belt and pants, easy, like an everyday thing, and underneath the photo it said, no Gucci belts to him. Yeah, because he doesn't care less.
No.
He wouldn't care less.
That's right.
For a Gucci belt.
Yeah.
Because a normal belt is the same belt. But for some people right now, this is all about probably proving themselves to themselves first, and then to the world.
Yeah.
Because they think they would receive acceptance by using these brands and showing it on them, and buying it. Some of them are paying. That's why the second hand of the luxury goods now is of incredible importance. The second hand websites of the brands are making billions of dollars.
Oh yes.
I mean, this is an amazing sector.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Did we had something before like this? No, there wasn't even secondhand, not at this level. But they're ready to pay for a luxury brand, probably 1/3 less, and buy the secondhand.
Yeah, but there was a time where people said, well, if I'm buying a luxury, it has to be really the brand new. I'm not prepared to buy a pre-owned or a pre-owned bag or belt, but things have changed, and you're so right. That
I mean, we all buy good. I mean, of course, instead of a cheap thing that you pay, sometimes you buy a good, well-made something. I don't know. Let's say bags, leather, or which will last me lifetime.
Yes.
Instead of paying 2, 3, 4 stupid ones, and you buy only one.
Yeah.
But it's not like this now. There is the consumption level is quite high. And that's, of course, again, luxury lifestyles, because people want to show their lifestyle. Like Ralph Lauren is in the world is the best brand, which is chosen because he has sold a lifestyle.
Yes.
Ralph Lauren, his clientele, his lifestyle.
That's right.
He's marketed his own lifestyle and he's sold it. It's a big challenge, and it's a big success. And he is the one. Ralph Lauren is the one.
Yeah.
Hats off, basically. I hope people, when this young generation will be aware of these facts, it will be a little too late. They will spend all their money. But, this is again, not everywhere. On the other hand, there is another, a group within the young generation, which is of higher level. They educate themselves very good. They're aware of the facts. They work. They read a lot. They're environmentally conscious. They want to live in a sustainable world. They want to live in good conditions, and they want to try out and live their life and experience life.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. I hope we will have less wars. These are, of course, not under anybody's control. These have to be made, for different reasons. But I certainly, first of all, we all have to protect our environment as much as possible. All of us are responsible for that. Otherwise, everything will collapse anyhow, so we don't do anything. So I think that's of utmost importance.
Yes.
And also for the investors should be very, very careful on environmental protection.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Well, Sehnaz, thank you very much. I think this has been a great discussion, and you have provided so much value.
Thank you very much. Although we are so far away from each other, you in Finland, me in Cyprus, two different ends, but we succeeded.
Yes, and it was fun to have a chance to discussion with you. Yeah, the technology is so we know how to use technology.
Technology is luxury.
Yes, right. Okay, on that note, thank you very much for everyone who joined. I have to just say a shout out. We had Andrew Ajus Mascot in Malta, who was. We have to say hello to him. And
hello, Andrew. Hello.
And so we have a few, of course, Hakan and Ayub Seridi, who is in Algeria, was here. So thank you very much, everyone. And the ones who didn't make any comments, thank you also for your time and to be with Sehnaz and myself on Discussion Luxury. So at this note, we will close this broadcast this time, and we will see you next time. Thank you very much.